Welcome back to another episode of Psycho Clown World. We've got a lot of information packed in this one, so get ready.
And here we go.
Okay, folks, before we get into the meat and potatoes of what's going on, this was just sent to me. I want you guys, if anyone has an Alexa and you have it hooked up, I would love for you to do this and post it in the comments. Let me know if this came up as well on yours. Okay, so for those of you who are live premiere, put it in the live chat, leave it in the comments, whatever. Listen to this.
Alexa, what is a
chemtrail? Trails left by aircraft are actually chemical or biological agents deliberately sprayed at high altitudes for a purpose undisclosed to the general public in clandestine programs directed by government officials.
What? They're not hiding it, are they?
No, not anymore.
So if anyone has an Alexa, please do this and let me know. If you happen to be live premiere, put it in the live chat. If not, put it in the comments. Let me know, because it's not impossible for somebody to actually make a robot voice. You can get apps for doing it, and somebody can actually do that themselves. But if that's what's really on there, folks, holy cow! Talk about literal in your face, not even trying to hide stuff. So we're actually gonna. Oh, and this is kind of cute. President Joe Biden tests positive for COVID.
That was after his cancer scare.
Yeah, well, one or the other. But this right here, this is actually a statement from the press secretary stating that he's got COVID. So, yeah, Kamala Harris they're going to try and put Kamala Harris. Now, notice how we have Wizard of Oz information. This is actually my personal information that we're going to go over because it ties into this, the Stargate of Oz. And this is what we're here.
Hold on one second. I have to ask if everybody knows that Joe Biden yesterday said that he had cancer.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe he meant COVID.
Well, he is a fucking moron.
Actually, you know what? He probably has bumbuckarias of the osmosis and just can't say it because it's too much information.
Okay.
So, folks. Krishna. I'm going to hit pause real quick. There's a couple other words that have to do with like Anunnaki, Anu, the father of Enlil and Enki, or in the movie Avatar, what was her name? Awa has heard you. They're putting it in our face, folks. Here we go. But we'll break this down more. I've got some things pulled up that go right along with this, folks. You're going to love it.
The sound ah is a portal to higher. This causes an elongation of the throat and vocal cords, a position conducive to producing the sound ah. Ah in Hebrew is aleph and hey. Aleph meaning the most high or divine. Hey means the window of the breath. Ah means the window of the breath that lets in the divine. Perhaps this is why meditation masters claim that meditating on the sound ah connects one with spirit. Ah is the sound we make to accept medicine. Medicine flies under the flag of the caduceus because it originates with medicinal and theogenic drugs that caused spiritual journey. Reaching higher consciousness means reaching higher states of awareness. Every time our consciousness grows, when we become more aware of something, we say, ah.
With dust we shall return.
To say ah, because the word is laughter, our greatest expression of joy, is an experience of spiritual growth. That is why laughter is pronounced ha, 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 ha. More recently as LOL or L.
Here we go. Now, I'm pausing it here for a reason. 2 minutes and 13 seconds. LOL. L and L. What do you happen to know, Figgy, that has L and an L in it?
Elohim?
Uh-huh. What else?
Eloha? I'm not sure which L you're referring to.
Okay, hold that thought. What about Kal-El? Kal-El as in Superman?
What's the etymology of Cal?
That one I'm not sure, but it's not the Cal, it's the L. Because what's his father's name? Jor-El.
Jor-El.
Jor-El is the father of Kal-El. Okay, so you've got two L's. But look at this. We're going to come over here to the Anunnaki, and look at this. Enlil has two L's. You see that? Enlil is spelled with two L's. Two L's. Father and son. Enlil is the son of Anu. Two L's. It's like the connections are redonkulous. It's like you can't make it up. Now, if you look at this, notice how he's the god of air. That's going to come in very important here in a little bit, folks. Just wait. There's more. God of air. Enlil. Who else is god of air, Figgy?
There's a lot of different gods of air. Which one are you talking about? I never know which
Zeus,
way you're going with
Horus. I mean, the list goes on, but it's all about Enlil. So anyways, we're going to get back to the video. Okay, back to the video.
O-L. Ha ha ha, LOL reflects perfectly Jehovah Elohim. Both intuitively understand that laughter is the best stars. Looking at the stars forces us to say, ah. Because Python and the Holy Grail is the search for an artifact that grants powers of Christ, where they find writing on a wall by Joseph of Arimathea.
Sorry, folks, I hit wrong pause. So, does anybody remember this movie, Monty Python, A Quest for the Holy Grail? I remember watching this as a kid, younger, well, I was in my teens, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious that this, there's this teeny little bunny, and it's guarding this, and they're not scared, but this rabbit kicks their butt, this little rabbit hole, and they go down in this huge rabbit hole. What are we doing now? We're going down a rabbit hole, folks.
And the Holy Grail is the search for an artifact that then enter the rabbit's hole, where they them.
Find the Holy Grail in the castle of
Triangle, square, pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon, nanogon, decagon. One of these shapes is not like the others. The O in octagon is pronounced ah. The Great Pyramid is an octagram, just like Akhenaten or Amen or Amen-Ra. That is why our old shamanistic medicine men told us to meditate and say ah. The Stargate of Ah is the opening of the mouth to say ah, so as to receive medicine from your witch doctor or shaman. Shaman were Amen. The modern shaman is a doctor. While shaman were both medicine men and spirit guides, the doctor is also both medicine man and spirit guide. Doctors oversee our entrance into life on earth. They help to prolong our stay on this physical plane. Then they oversee the exit of our soul into the next realm. The doctor, without even knowing it, is the spirit guide of today, which is why they are associated with the caduceus. Humans are hardwired to know that ah takes us on a spiritual journey. That is why if someone were to tell you to say ah, you would immediately think of a doctor.
Pretty good.
Off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Now, there's so much to the Wizard of Oz, it's uncanny. Let me show you what I'm talking about with just the Wizard of Oz. So,
Cal.
Figgy just went ahead and researched Cal. Go for it, Figs.
The two functions of Dagesh are distinguished as either Cal, light, or Hazak, strong.
What if there's a play on words, too, or play on letters? Cal with a C? Calendar?
It actually is derived, so it was Cal in old, like, etymology-wise, it was Cal with a C.
Yeah, like calendar, messing with time, messing with how we view time and perceive it?
Correct.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go on ahead, Figs. What you got?
Cal meaning in Urdu is Kalama Tayyiba, Tayyiba. Now I gotta look up what that means. But similar words in Cal are commonly used in daily talk as Kalama-e Tayyib, kaleidoscope. Punctuation of Cal in Roman Urdu is that word again, Kalama. and translation of Cal and Eridu has its own like writing. So this is like Sanskrit words.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Now, this here is Wizard of Oz. A lot of people don't understand this, but we're going to break this down for you. This is Parallels of Real Life to the Wizard of Oz by Real Xenon, I guess. Exanon, however you want to pronounce that, Xenon. But I also happen to know this to be true. So, and the reason I know that is because, well, I've actually reclaimed my straw man and have exited the land of Oz. I am actually not a non-U.S. citizen American national, and I have my original birth certificate. I don't have a certified copy. I've actually claimed my actual birth certificate back, which is also claiming your straw man, exiting the legal system, because a legal system ain't a lawful system. Anyways, so here we go. The Wizard of Oz, The Crown Temple. This is not a mere child story written by L. Frank Baum. What symbol does OZ stand for? Ounces. Gold. What is a yellow brick road? Gold bars. Bricks are ingot bars of gold. The character known as Straw Man represents a fictitious, all caps, legal fiction, a person. So your name in all caps is actually a corporate name. When you sign your signature, you don't do it in all caps. It's only the first one is capitalized, and then it's all lowercase. And then, of course, if you do your middle and your last name, only the first letter is capitalized. The rest of them is lowercase. So anyways, the legal fiction, a person, the federal U.S. government created with the same spelling as your Christian birth name. Here we go with this crap again. Remember what the straw man wanted from the Wizard of Oz. A brain. No legal fiction has a brain because they have no breath of life. Because you're considered a straw man. You're considered dead. You're actually considered dead at birth, which is why they put your feet print on your thing showing that, oh, he's dead. That's how they create your legal fiction, is at the hospital when you're born. Anyways, what did he get in place of a brain? A certificate, like a birth certificate, for a new legal creation. He was proud of his new legal status, plus all the other legalisms he was granted. Now he becomes the true epitome of the brainless sack of straw who was given a certificate in place of a brain of common sense. If I only had a brain. Well, what about the Tin Man? Does taxpayer identification number TIN? You guys getting it? Taxpayer identification number 10 mean anything to you? The poor Tin Man just stood there mindlessly doing his work until his body literally froze up and stopped functioning. He worked himself to death because he had no heart nor soul. He's the heartless and emotionless creature robotically carrying out his daily task if he was already dead, as if he was already dead. He's the ox pulling the plow and the mule toiling under the yoke. His masters keep him cold on the outside and heartless on the inside in order to control any emotions or heart he may get a hold of. Think about that, folks. How many of us feel like a mindless robot going to work and doing all this crap and coming home and then doing it all again? That's the Tin Man. TIN. Taxpayer identification number. Here's another one. The pitiful, cowardly lion was always too frightened to stand up for himself. Of course, he was a bully and a big mouth when it came to picking on those smaller than he was. They act as if they have great courage, but they really have none at all. All roar with no teeth or authority to back them up. When push come to shove, the cowardly lion always buckled under the and whimpered when anyone of any size or stature challenged him. He wanted courage from the Grand Wizard, so he was awarded a medal of official recognition. Now, regardless of how much of a coward he still was, his official status made him a bully with official recognition authority. You know, like a judge, law enforcement. Bullcrap. He's just like the attorneys who hide behind the middle courts of the Temple Bar. Speaking of bar, you know, lawyers have to have their bar association, their bar certificate. It stands for British Accredited Registry. Go look it up. Anyways, what about the trip through the field of poppies? Well, they weren't real people, so drugs had no effect on them. The Wizard of Oz was written at the turn of the century, so how could the author have known America was going to be drugged? The Crown has been playing the drug cartel game for centuries. Just look up the history of Hong Kong and the Opium Wars. The Crown already had valuable experience conquering all of China with drugs, so why not the rest of the world? Who finally exposed the wizard for what he really was? Toto. The ugly or cute, depending on your perspective, and somewhat annoying little dog, Toto means in total or all together, Latin in toto. Notice how Toto was not scared of the great wizard's theatrics, yet he was so small in size compared to the wizard, no one seemed to notice him. The smoke, flames, and hologram images were designed to frighten people into doing as the great Wizard of Oz commanded. Basically, that would be like the judge. Oh, you're going to do this. Nah, kiss off. Toto simply went over, looked behind the curtain, or the court, see the definition for curtain above, saw it was a scam, and started barking until others paid attention to him and came to see what all the barking was about. Just an ordinary person controlling levers that created the illusion of the great wizard's power and authority. The veil hiding the corporate legal fiction and its false court was removed. The wizard's game was up. It's too bad that people don't realize how loud a bark from a little dog is. How about your bark? Do you just remain silent and wait to be given whatever food and recognition, if any, your legal masters give you? Fly, my pretties, fly! What a perfect mythical creature to symbolize the Bar Association attorneys. Remember I told you about Bar, who attack and control all the little people for the great crown wizard, or crown of England. The powerful and grand bankers of Oz. Gold. That's right. What is it going to take to expose the wizard and tear down the court veil for what they really are? Each of us needs only a brain, a heart, and a soul, and courage. Then, and most importantly, we all need to learn how to work together. Only in toto. In totality. All of us together. In love. Working together as one body of the King of Kings can we ever be free or have the freedom given under God's law. Now, the input arriving to Emerald City was their hope, and in the movie, not one of them got what they wanted. They received consolation gifts, except for Dorothy. She got her wish, but we never saw her sail away home because it was one big dream. A matrix. It's one big dream. And now, here we are, battling the big bankers, trolls, those suffering with Bidenitis, and we may feel defeated. Then we bow our heads and pray, right? So we reached a destination, but because we have been blinded and blindsided for so many decades, we thought it was our destination, only to realize our dreams and hopes continue to get taken away over and over again, and we rebuild over and over again. Resets. Continual resets. So, now, of course, this is going into with President Trump, but this one here, again. All right, before we pick back up here with the Wizard of Oz, Figgy did a little digging, which I had actually known, and I didn't think about bringing this up, but by all means, Figs, tell us a little more about Superman.
So there's this article in the Times of Israel that I pulled up. The Man of Steel no longer the man. I'm butchering these words, so everybody, just, show me a little love here. I'm doing my best. Shettel, Shettel, however that's pronounced. The last son of Krypton, Kal-El, better known to you puny Earthlings as Superman, is making yet another appearance on the silver screen with the Man of Steel. Having seen the film twice, I am here to answer your two biggest questions. Yes, the movie is a great deal of fun, and yes, Superman is just as much blatant religious symbolism as ever. But does the new Superman turn its cape on its Jewish past? Finding Jewish roots in DC Comics' Big Blue Boy Scout is not exactly a new avenue of scholarship. A quick look at Amazon.com will offer up books like From Krakow and Krypton, Jews and the Comic Books. Disguised as Clark Kent, Jews, comics, and creation of the superhero, Superman is Jewish. How comic book superheroes come to serve truth, justice, and the Jewish American way. And my personal favorite, Up, Up, and Oy Vey. How Jewish history, culture, and values shape the comic book superhero. In case you've been living under a cultural rock, some quick facts. Superman was created in the 1930s by writer Jerry Siegel and artist Joe Shuster. Two Jewish American children of European refugees. Superman's old country is Krypton, an advanced realm, and ultimately destroyed itself. Superman's real name is Kal-El, son of Jor-El.
And the Anunnaki with their planet Nibiru and going around their second son.
The suffix El, of course, means of God. And in Hebrew, with Kal-El defined by some as a voice of God. Before Krypton's doom, Kal-El's parents put him in a Moses-like basket, sending him down the Nile of intergalactic space until he landed safely on Earth. There, in the most Goyistic place ever, a farm of Kansas, Kal-El assumes the secret identity of Clark Kent.
Wait a minute. Farm of Kansas? Where does the Wizard of Oz take place? In Kansas? How do you like that?
Clark Kent and this model minority soon thrives in this new environment. The yellow sun's radiation provides a source for him to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Though for Siegel and Schuster, it was meant to symbolize the freedom from the Nazism which allowed them to find safe travel and safety and success. The Moses metaphors and symbolism of doom.
Moses metaphor was a great, and I didn't even make that one before. That's a great connection. Here's the other one. When you're looking at Kal-El, and what does he do? He puts on a disguise, and he's dressed as somebody else. Aren't the Jews doing the same thing?
Yeah. The Moses metaphors and the symbols of the doomed Europe remain in Man of Steel, scripted by Jewish American writer David Goyer. The planet's expository scenes are told through metaphoring globs of silver, giving everything a very Art Deco German expressionist look. Upping the Hebraic ante for this fantastical immigrant's tale, however, is a specific item, the MacGuffin, in screenwriters' terms, that the villain, General Zod, is pursuing. Zod, played with wonderful gusto, has chased down Kal-El quite remarkably. Henry Cavill and his team.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we know Zod, okay, and we've heard of Z, the special force unit called Zod, also God, Zeus. Sorry, go ahead.
It gets way better.
Oh yeah.
And a whole new rabbit hole for me to look into. And and his team of personal trainers, nutritionists, Man of Steel indeed. In Search of this doohickey contains a genetic code, the collected knowledge of Krypton, which they call the Codex. One not need to be a biblical scholar to immediately flash upon the Aleppo Codex, the 10th century document considered by many to be the most authoritative reproduction of the Hebrew Bible, currently housed in the Shrine of the Book Wing in Jerusalem Israel Museum. The stories surrounding the Codex include that it had survived theft, ransom during the Crusades, as well as near destruction in 1947 by angry rioters at the announcement of the UN's partition plan. Over the years, it was hidden in Cairo and eventually Syria.
Ooh.
Right.
So who would have known that this? So far, we're only 4 minutes and 11 seconds into this, that we would have gotten this much out of this from being able to put things together for you. Like I said, folks, in the very beginning, this episode is going to be cram-packed, and we're only 4 minutes and 11 seconds in. Like I said, just wait. There's more.
Watching the brutal General Zod bark, where have you hidden the Codex? To the sweet apple pie middle American Ma Kent is the twisted and probably unintentional way and the strangest new iteration of the classic Jew-hating paranoia.
Okay.
I'll explain. Zod was bred Brave New World style to protect the legacy of Krypton, the old country. Kal-El was the first natural birth in centuries. Both are among the few survivors of genocide. Kal-El's father, Jor-El, embedded the Codex in Kal-El and then sent him down the Nile. Kal-El has the power to preserve and create a new Krypton, but doing so, he would kill humanity.
Now, I want you to think about this for a minute, folks. So this Codex, all this information, all this data is in his body. It's in his cells, just like ours, in our DNA.
Kal-El.
Data. Just like you are literally all of your ancestors. because all that genetic material, all that information, all of their past lives are all in you. You are your ancestors. Your ancestors are you.
Definitely.
Passed down.
And they've proven this with scientists,
Yeah.
scientific study
So
of the
they're
DNA.
literally in Superman. They're telling you, like, they tell us everything in movies if you know to pay attention. Here it is. Keep going. Sorry, Figgy, didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm just trying to pinpoint out some of the little things for the listeners to start going, holy crap. Go ahead.
LL ultimately rejects this evil plan, this protocol dreamed up by the elders of Krypton. He's talking about Russell Crowe, so let me skip past that because who cares?
Right.
Jor-El hoped that he would figure out some sort of workaround where everyone could be happy, though it's hard to see how it's possible without altering the planet's atmosphere, as evil Zod tried to do.
Okay, so basically, in the movie Man of Steel, they try to terraform the Earth, right? They're making expand, terraforming the Earth. What are they doing right now with all the daggum chemtrails?
Oh yeah, right. Kal-El has the codex, and instead of returning it to the people of Krypton, he keeps it hidden and unused. Kal-El, at age 33. 33.
Yeah. Was it 33 in like a third?
No, right? The year Jesus was when he was crucified, which I find this bizarre that the Times of Israel would mention that, but okay. Is ready to sacrifice for the good of his new home. He is, as he reminds the distrusting American general, about as American as they come. He arrives at this decision after a soulful one-on-one conversation with his Christian minister while sitting in front of a gigantic stained glass window of Christ. The light shining through forms a halo around Henry Cavill's gorgeous head. If you somehow missed the visual cue, there's this subtle move Superman makes when he decided to put himself in harm's way to fight General Zod. And because everyone likes a nice trinity, may as well point out that the instigating series of flashback through Kal-El's minds opens on this image below. Oh, it looks kind of like Christ. I don't know. He's like in the water. I don't know how to. So Cal's like floating in the water with all kinds of debris. Superman has always been the truth and justice and the American way, but it has never been dismissive of the old country before. Krypton and its chance, Kal-El shouts out, duking it out with General Zod. And that's that. He just kind of closes out about the movie, and that's pretty much the end of it there.
Look at all these connections that's coming just from 4 minutes and 11 seconds. All this data and information. And once again, Wizard of Oz, Superman, ties to Kansas, makes me wonder what's going on in Kansas now that we need to start looking for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute here. So let's continue with this video, folks. Rainbow. Wait a minute. What? He's talking about Egypt now and pharaohs in the Wizard of Oz? That's not ominous.
Hello. Before I became the omnipotent and all-powerful ruler of Oz, I was a magician. You may be asking yourself why at this moment.
Now, I've got another connection here for you guys to check out. This is Christopher Lloyd. And I'll show the connection to you here after a little bit, but we'll keep watching. I'll bring it together for you.
Of your victory, I would show up. I managed to bring this.
Is a metaphor for stepping into the light, being able to see new parts of the energy spectrum, becoming aware of new information that has been floating around us all along. Dorothy steps into the light of color, her metaphorical ascension. She gets there by journeying through a metaphorical wormhole, an earthbound wormhole impersonator, tornado. She steps into the land of enlightenment. The sound we make when we suddenly become enlightened is ah. That's why the lord of the land of enlightenment is Oz. Christopher Lloyd is Oz in The Witches of Oz, Lord of the Land of Color, Clarity, or Enlightenment. He plays this character in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where our protagonist journeys a tunnel wormhole and enters into the land of light, the lord of that land being Christopher Lloyd.
Since I've had Toontown under my jurisdiction, my goal has been to rein in the insanity.
Macaulay Culkin journeys the wormhole tunnel, then becomes engulfed in and enters the land of color, traversing the rainbow, stepping into the spectrum. The lord of this land is Christopher Lloyd. He is the lord of the land of color because he is Zeus, Jupiter, the land over the rainbow. The Wizard of Oz is strangely connected to green octograms that decorate his home of Emerald City. Ground Zero is the location of Emerald City in The Wiz, and is home to a giant green octagon, the base of One World Trade Building. Christopher Lloyd's Oz movie takes place in New York City. Ground Zero is bordered by two parallel streets called West and Greenwich, or Greenwich of the West, another overt Oz resonance. The octagram is worn by Oz Lloyd in the movie DuckTales, where he hovers above an airplane that crashes into two towers, which then collapse. The ensuing scene eerily reminiscent of 9/11. Immediately after the carnage, he lands atop a pyramid.
Okay, folks. So, according to that video we're watching, DuckTales, the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp. Look at this. 1990 it came out. 1990? That was before the Twin Towers. Wait a minute. Do what? Now, let's go back to Christopher Lloyd. He'll go on to Christopher Lloyd, but this is another connection that I made here. Christopher Lloyd, or Lord. Notice how he has two L's. Oh, and just saying. Is it a coincidence? Maybe. All right, back to the show.
Ensuing scene eerily reminiscent of pyramid.
Isn't that interesting? Plane crashing into two towers. Interesting. And you guys notice this symbol here. What does this symbol look like, Figs?
I don't know what that one is.
This one right here? This
No.
chevron? Really? All right, hold on.
I'm also, like, if you look on the other side, you can see the full. I don't know. It kind of looks like a vajayjay to me.
That's exactly that. That is a vajayjay. But this right here, this little chevron, let me show you. Oh, come on. I'm gonna go like this.
Like something with the stupid Masons.
What?
It is, isn't it?
What? Hold
So
that.
tired of them.
Yes, I know they can see the application. Now get out of my face. Check this out. Look at the chevron.
Oh yeah. The stupid
Compass.
Masons.
Oh, and you notice how this kind of looks like a plane, like a plane's wings? Oh, and look, two towers or two pillars.
Oh yeah, and then you got your vajayjay in the middle.
Yep, got your vajayjay in the middle. But you know what else happens to have towers with it? You know, we got our Freemason chessboard, but also the pillars especially tie back to who?
Oh yeah, Janice.
Janus or Yanis, two-headed, two L's.
Look at that 17 under there.
Yeah, you see that right there? 17. You see that? Ah, I was hoping you would see it. I was really hoping you'd see it because I saw when I pulled this up, I was like, there's a 1700. Are you serious?
Oh my gosh, this is as good as the 33.
I'm telling you, it's like all right, let's get back to the video. Like I said, folks, this thing is just cram packed. There's so much in this little thing, in this little
I've been
video.
going down the Jesuit rabbit hole, people. Jesuit rabbit hole. That's all I got to say. Follow it.
Oh yeah. It's a controlled demolition. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? Figs. What do we see here?
The amulet.
No. Not just the amulet. And we know that they've been looking for this amulet for a little bit. They've been, putting off with it. But you've got an eagle, with a pyramid, and an eye. What does that look like?
And the sun.
The back of a $1 bill, folks.
Yeah.
Illuminati, Freemasons, eagle, eye, pyramid. Oh, man.
I told
Green
you
octagons
DuckTales
are
was like
seen.
had a bunch of stuff. We went down the DuckTales road before, remember?
Oh,
But what was it about? I can't remember now. There's so many rabbit holes.
Yeah, I don't remember either. There's so many. There's literally endless amount of rabbit holes. But long story short, folks, really start paying attention to movies and cartoons and stuff that you're watching. They're telling you stuff, whether it be inappropriate stuff or real stuff that's going on. They're telling you what's going on. You just have to have eyes to see and ears to hear.
Prominently on display as the wizard conquers flight to become Lord of the Sky.
What? Lord of the Sky? What did I just? Remember, I told you guys to remember Enlil, Lord of the Sky. So is Zeus, Janus, Ra, Horus.
Sky
It's all
god
here.
Zeus is an eagle in myth. Zeus, as god of all gods, is synonymous with
Enlil's actual animal representation is an eagle. Enki, his brother, who tried to free mankind, is that of a wise serpent. Henceforth in the Bible, the old serpent. But he gave Adam and Eve the fruit so that they could have knowledge, because Enlil didn't want them to have knowledge. He didn't want them to wake up. He didn't want their third eye opening. He didn't want them to have consciousness. Enki was giving it to them. And then what happened? Enlil punished them and kicked them out because he didn't want them to stir up everybody else.
Egyptian god of all gods, Horus, both avian sky gods who rest on mountaintops. They are both the same god. On the dollar bill, which is concave and thus octagonal, or a green octagon, surrounding our declarations of monotheistic authority. Christopher Lloyd is Zeus. That's why his titan and sports a giant green octagon, on the underside of which is a large mural centered around an image of Zeus. Macaulay Culkin is sent into the land of color while standing on an octagram. Moments ago, he passed through this tunnel that leads to the observatory. Above his head is a giant mural focused around Lloyd, paralleling the observatory's mural focused around Zeus.
Now, one of the other things I wanted to bring into this, I'm actually going to have to try and find this for you guys. We're at 9:23. When Macaulay Culkin is walking in, this actually reminded me of another movie. You remember the movie Interstellar? Or Interstellar? With Matthew McConaughey?
You got to give me more.
Okay, he was trying to save mankind. I'm gonna. It'll actually show.
Christopher Lloyd is Zeus.
Okay, I see it. A team of explorers travel through a wormhole in space, attempting to ensure humanity's survival.
Right. Now, did you ever watch Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey?
Maybe.
Oh man,
it looks kind of vaguely familiar.
Oh man, it's a must watch. Like that, they tell you so much stuff in there. It's like, whoa. So in the movie Interstellar, there actually happens to be a part. Now, we just heard about Macaulay Culkin going through this wormhole, right? And
Yeah.
here he is coming up to like a library or the Akashic Records libraries. He's basically going through a wormhole, finding the Akashic Records. The same thing with Interstellar. Interstellar, he actually goes into this like endless thing of bookcases everywhere, basically at the Akashic Records, and he's communicating with his daughter on the other side when she was younger, because time and space does not exist there. And so, and it's that's why I said the movie is a must watch, because I mean, it's wow. Like the way that they explain it and how everything works, letting us know that time is not linear, that time is a loop. It always is and always was. Like there's no beginning, no end, and it loops around, and you can move through different spaces and point in time and communicate and do all kinds of stuff. So here we are here in this movie, and they're showing us the same thing. He went through a wormhole, through the tunnel, and here he is at the Akashic Records. Like they tell us so many things in movies. We just have to be able to put it together. Okay, come on. Here we go.
The omnipotent and all-powerful ruler of Oz.
Since I've had Toontown under my jurisdiction,
I am the page master.
Designed by John C. Austin, an architect.
Look at that, Figs. Who designed it?
Of course. It's always the freaking Masons, man.
I'm telling you, the Wizard of Oz. Folks, they put it in our face. Freemasons are behind almost everything. Illuminati, it's all part of it. You just have to be able to see it.
exclusively devoted
I'm
to
so sick of their
constructing free
shit.
Masonic temples.
What's that?
I said I'm so sick of the Masons shit.
Oh, they're everywhere. You might as well go on and get used to that. Have a seat.
Cockroaches.
Or water. Actually, don't drink pop. Drink water.
Is responsible for the Hollywood Masonic Temple, the Shriners Masonic Auditorium, and LA City Hall, an obvious phallic obelisk honoring Horus and featured on the cover
Now,
of the
let's
movie
not get into the
trailer.
Shriners thing because all Shriners are Freemasons, but not all Freemasons are Shriners. And what are the Shriners? Clowns. What are the clowns? Nephilim. Like I said, it goes so deep. It's like, holy cow. And what's that guy's channel that does? Is it Conspiracy RS?
Maybe. He released a new episode though, by the way.
Oh, did he? Yeah, I'll have to go check it out. But yeah,
The Nephilim are clowns. That's what people should just put in search for. He has excellent content.
holy crap. And he's like bang on with some of this. It's like, no freaking way. Because like a lot of the old Nephilims were all pale face, you know, clown has white face, red head, red hair. They had big hands and big feet. They wear the big shoes. They're literally symbolically telling you. Do you guys remember the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space? Hello? Oh, man.
Of which foreshadowing theater shootings. Side of the octagon is underneath the mural of Zeus. The evil pendulum takes a specific number of hours for the location of the Griffith Observatory. The rotation period is 42 hours. Thus, when octagon, considering the scenario played out with the mural of Lloyd and the Griffith Park Tunnel and his previous Zeus associations, we can connect this Zeus green octagon to Lloyd sitting atop the Giza octagon Stargate pyramid in his Zeus eagle form while wearing a green octagram after just observing a plane crash into two towers as one did at the revealing of the Ground Zero octagram. Aleister Crowley meditated inside the Giza octagram and channeled the divinity Ahhhh, pronounced Ahhhh, furthering the immutable connection between channeling divinity and the audible sound ah, appropriate considering the human body is anatomically designed to say ah when we look up at the stars of heaven where we believe God to be, to meditate on and speak the
Kind of funny. In that movie that I talked about earlier, Avatar, where the blue aliens, Ahhhh has heard you. They're telling you that's literally their god. Yeah, one of their a being, an alien being that they spoke with.
word Ah is to open the window for the divine spirit. The Stargate of Ah is the window that lets in the divine enlightenment, while quietly in the background, the divine Ahs enters in through the window.
Doesn't anybody believe me?
Of course we believe you, though.
Oh, but anyway, Toto, we're home.
All right, folks. This here is a video that Fig sent me, and man, what a watch! It's about 2 hours and 26 minutes long. For anybody that really wants to see this, and I'm going to tell you what, yeah, I highly recommend it. Reach out to me on Telegram, okay, and then I will forward it to you. My name on Telegram is the same as on the channel, Jacob of Ephraim, and I will send it. And I will just reach out to me. Hey, can I get that movie? And I'll just send it right over to you. Definitely recommend on the phone because it will take up some space on your cache on your phone. So do it on a laptop or on your home computer. But what a great movie. So give us a little rundown. I've only watched like the first like 15, 20 minutes of it. And so far it's like, wow. But can you give us, since you've watched the whole thing, can you give the listeners a little bit more of a snippet of what this thing's all about?
So it's an excellent watch. Whoever put this together did a fantastic job. There's a little bit of, leading the audience to an opinion, but not too bad compared to, what some people do. My biggest portion of this that I would love people to see would be the second half, where they start talking about the black goo, DNA, what they want to do to DNA. I don't want to give too much away. I think people really, take the time, watch it in sections. You can find me on Telegram, Jacob on Telegram. Just get the video, watch it when you can. And you'll start to see what they're trying to accomplish with certain things that are relevant in all of our lives today.
Oh yeah, it's pretty nuts. And after watching just the first little bit, and really the biggest part that kind of just really just blew my mind, I was just like, oh my gosh, was Leviticus when he's talking about the blood and the flesh.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not eat blood and flesh of any other creature, including humans.
Yeah. wait until, like I said, I mean, they whoever put this together, I wish I knew who it was to see if they had anything else.
So far, bang on, great
It
job.
is. They did a really good job. And it's not even very, I know that it starts out kind of religious, but the more you get into it, it doesn't even have to be a religious thing. So whatever your faith is, just set that aside and listen to the content that they're providing to you, specifically in the end about, certain potions, and certain goos.
Now, one of the reasons, I will say, one of the reasons why a lot of this circulates around Judaism, Zionist, Christianity, and stuff like that, because that's what's ruling everything. All roads lead to Rome. It leads back to the Jewish, the Zionist, indoctrination of crap, and that's Enlil, Anunnaki. That's what that's all about. So, and that is the largest. Well, it was the largest growing religion. Now people are leaving in droves because people are waking up and seeing the truth. But anyways, that's the biggest culprit right there of how more wars have been fought in the sake of Christianity or God than any other wars in our known existence. Period.
I can't really. See, for me, I don't feel like we really know history very well, and I think that we're labeling it Christianity or God, and really it's been the same war since the beginning of humanity. It's the same beings. They're really good at rebranding themselves. So I don't like to pick on one religion in particular, because I think all of them have been led astray. And there are people out there that'll go, their particular religion, they'll say, is a way of life. Well, everybody thinks that same way about their religion. Where I like to sit back and I've said this to you a million times, I am very against everybody just labeling it as a metaphor. If we were to just start reading texts as actual, beings, or as the text reads, you start getting a really different picture instead of trying to do what they've taught us to do. We hide it because we go, oh, well, that's a metaphor. Well, I don't think that people were writing on cave walls a metaphor,
Yeah. So anyways, folks, let us know what you think in the comments on the live chat. What do you guys think? I mean, if you guys want it, like we said, let us know on Telegram. We'll send it to you. And hopefully this was a lot of information. I know there was a lot. We really kind of broke the first little video. Look how long it took us to get through, 14, 15 minutes of it. There's so much packed in there that you have to be able to stop and start breaking stuff down. Look at the symbols, look at what's going on, the terminology, and you can see so many connections everywhere, folks. But anyways, stay safe out there, folks. We hope that you enjoyed it, and remember that we love you. Remember, folks, keep your eyes open, no fear, and love is the only way forward.